everybody. Welcome. Thank you for being together. I know this was a very strange Shabbat for so many of us. And all I can say is that it's very inspiring to me at this time how many communities are finding ways to be together so that the CDC's recommendation of quote unquote social isolation is actually just physical isolation, but doesn't involve our not supporting each other. Thank you to everybody. I know how many ways, little, big, everything in between, people have supported each other through this Shabbat, and we will continue to. It feels like an enormous, enormous blessing. And just looking at my screen with all the smiling faces, welcome Roanna, welcome families, welcome teachers, welcome to my parents who are joining us. It is really it feels like a tremendous joy to find these moments of being together, even as we have to physically be apart. Noah, thank you for agreeing with no notice and with not a second's hesitation to lead our Havdalah tonight. I'm going to turn it over in a moment to Noah. Then after Noah's done with Havdalah, he will turn it over to Rabbi Ann, who with the help, I believe, of Benti and Danielle, we'll start our week with a story. Again, thank you for warming our family's Shabbat. We're all thrilled to be here with you. I turn it over to Noah. May this be a Shavua Tov, filled with good things and health and well-being and continued ways that we all care for each other. Noah, please.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Ariana, for those beautiful words. Super honored and delighted to be with all of you. And please, if all you're at home, join me. I'm going to start with the melody that I learned from my father. We used to sing in Israel growing up, and has become kind of traditional around the world. So we'll sing it 999 one time around so everybody gets it, and then I'll go into the Havdalah. Hine Kel. Lai, 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei v'yodei b'samim borei minei b'samim la 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei ve'orei ha'esh borei ve'orei ha'esh Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam המעביר בין קודש לחול בין אור לחושך ישראל העמי אינו משפיע לששת בימעשה ברוך אתה אדוני המעביר בין קודש לחול Mashiach ben David, Mashiach ben David. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu more virtual ones. We can all get together and do Havdalah for real together without the social distance. Thank you so much. Hey, Rabbi Ann, over to you.
Shavua Tov, everybody. So it was so wonderful. Wow, what an incredible feeling to be not with everybody and yet so profoundly with everybody as I saw everyone's faces. That was quite moving and amazing. So I had this strange experience of being in synagogue today with about 10 people because they needed a Torah reader. So I, along with other Torah readers and the rabbis and the bar mitzvah family, were the only ones there. And we read Parshat Vayakhel, which talks about the importance of building a physical space for God where people can be together. But given what's been going on in the world, the story that Benti and Danielle and I would like to tell you today is about how maybe the physical space in the end isn't really the most important thing. And this story is actually inspired by a teaching from the Chafetz Chaim. So here we go. This is my first venture into remote storytelling. Once upon a time, there was a little village. And in this little village, there was a little synagogue. All the people of the village loved their little synagogue. Every week, they went there to see their friends, to pray together, and to greet Shabbat. They threw candy when people went up to the Torah or when a baby was named. They celebrated holidays together. One week, there was a terrible storm in the little village. The rain poured down and the wind roared, thunder clapped, and lightning lit up the sky. Everybody stayed inside, and parents held their children close. When the storm finally ended and people came slowly out of their homes, they were very relieved to find that everyone in the village was safe. But then their eyes fell on a terrible sight. Their little synagogue had been destroyed by the storm. A great big tree had fallen over right onto the roof, and 2 of the walls had fallen in too. The villagers did not know what to do. They ran to their rabbi for help. The rabbi looked at the little synagogue with tears in his eyes, but he spoke kindly to the people.
I know how sad you must all feel. I feel sad too. But let us remember how lucky we are that we are all safe. I know that somehow, with God's help, we will rebuild our little synagogue.
But how? The villagers didn't know, but they trusted their rabbi. As it happened, there was a couple in the next village who had been to the little synagogue many times, and they always enjoyed the singing and the warm community that they found there. When they heard the news, they made a decision. The next day, the wife got into her carriage and rode to the next village. Her horses pulled up in front of the rabbi's home. The rabbi greeted her joyfully, glad to see an old friend.
Rabbi, my husband and I heard about what happened in your synagogue. God had blessed us very generally, and we would like to pay for the entire cost of rebuilding your synagogue.
Thank you so much for your offer. You are so kind and generous. I am proud to have you as my friend. I hope you will understand when I tell you that for the sake of community, I cannot accept it.
I'm so sorry to hear that, Rabbi. You are a wise man, so you must have a good reason for your choice. It was nice to see you anyway.
Now, what the rabbi didn't know was that 2 children had been under his window playing during the visit, and they heard the whole conversation. They ran home to tell their families what had happened, and it wasn't long until the whole village had heard, and everybody rushed over to the rabbi's house saying, "Rabbi, what have you done? How could you turn down such a wonderful offer? Have you lost your senses? We would like an explanation."
I'm so sorry that I have upset you.
The people said, "But don't you want to see the synagogue rebuilt?"
Of course I do. But I know that if we hired someone to rebuild it, we would lose something very important. Because you see, I know that every one of you has something unique to give to the new synagogue. And I want to make sure you have the chance to share your gifts.
The villagers were silent. They had never thought of this. They were still not very happy about the rabbi's strange words, but what choice did they have? They started to rebuild the synagogue themselves. To their surprise, they discovered that they each had something to contribute. Leopold, who people had always complained was too bossy, took charge and organized everybody, dividing up all the different tasks to be done. Rivka, who had always been very handy and good at figuring out how to make things, immediately set to work mending the broken Aron Kodesh, the ark where the Torah was kept. Some of the children made a beautiful mural for the back wall. Others made sandwiches for everyone to eat while they were working. Nut-free and kosher, of course. Everybody had a job to do and everybody participated. At one point, the rabbi looked into the distance and what did he see? The couple from the next village walking over wearing their overalls.
We heard that you were rebuilding and we came to help. I am great with hammering and my husband can play the guitar where everyone works.
Before the next Shabbat, everything was finished and they all came together in their new synagogue. All the villagers admired how beautiful the building now was, but even more importantly, they admired the many gifts that everyone had contributed to make it that way. And they celebrated happily in their little synagogue for many years to come. And that is the end of our story. So Shavua Tov, everybody.
Shavua Tov, everybody.
We look forward to seeing you virtually in many different places. We have lots of tricks up our sleeve to make a lot of fun together using this wonderful video platform. So stay tuned because.
And we're open to suggestions. Feel free to email them to me or Rabbi Ann. We want to be here for you in the ways that you need us. Shavua Tov. Thank you, Noah. Thank you, Ann. Thank you, Benti. Thank you, Danielle. Shavua Tov, everyone. May be a week of good news and health and well-being. The Dubler Furmans are sending lots of love.